Hidden expectations can be the silent killer of any relationship. I remember when I was in college, I had a friend of mine, his grandfather passed, and his grandfather was like a grandfather to me. And the young lady I was dating at the time, I shared with her about him passing. I shared with her what he meant to me and how he had been a great influence in my life. I had hidden expectations that she was going to go with me, show up, be there for me, to let me be a shoulder for me to cry on. And what she said was, I don't do funerals. So listen, I hope that you and your friend are good, but I don't do funerals. And instead of me having a conversation with her, sharing with her how much I would love for her to be there, I just said, okay. She didn't show up to the funeral, even though I was really still expecting her to show up. She didn't show up. And what I did, because I was hurt that she didn't show up, because I had these expectations that she would show up, what I did, stopped talking to her. And eventually we broke up. I learned something though after that. I learned that sometimes we have these hidden expectations, these things that we are expecting, these things that we're hoping, these things that we're thinking that people will do as a response to how we think. And I need to make sure that we clarify. Here's some quick clues that you know you have some hidden expectations. When you say, or your phrases begin with, they should know, or you say something like, you know what, I would think that they, or perhaps you said something like, I thought everybody knew that, or maybe you said, isn't that just common sense? The reality is that we all have different value systems. We all have grown up in different environments, different cultures. And so what may be valuable to you, what may be common to you, may not be common to that person. Do you know how you combat this idea of hidden expectations? You know how you get through it? You communicate, you talk, you actually share what you're feeling. So for me, in instance, I with the example with the ex-girlfriend, I could have just said, hey, I know you don't really do funerals, but this is going to be extremely hard. Can you, for me, please show up? I have no doubt that she would have shown up for that. But because I didn't communicate. And so I don't know who I'm talking to. Communicate. Share with your spouse, your friends, your loved ones that you have these expectations. Talk about it. Over communicate. If you don't say it, you cannot assume that they know it. And here's another one. If they don't do it, you cannot assume that they are nonchalant or they don't care. Because your interpretation of their actions is not fair when they don't know what you're thinking. When you're in relationships with people, they're not supposed to be psychic readers. They can't read your mind. You must communicate. Even if you think that it is small and menial and they should get this or should understand this, listen, assume they know nothing. And if you can assume that and communicate, I promise you, you will have healthier relationships. You'll teach that person how to support you, how to be there for you. And you don't have to silently be frustrated or do like I did, shut people off and start punishing them because you're hurt. I hope that's been a blessing to you. I learned these things, right? As I was trying to learn how to get back in my relationship with my father, that I had these hidden expectations with him and he had them of me. And it wasn't until we communicated that things began to get better. Listen, I wrote most of this stuff in my book. I want you to go and get that book. Go to drrickymccrae.com, and I want you to go and I want you to look at that. Read that book. Some things are worth fighting for. I promise you. There are so many nuggets, so many lessons about what it means for us to be in relationship in a healthy, loving, supporting way. I also, because it is the Christmas season, one of my favorite times of the year, Listen, I want you to go and also get my first book that I wrote, What's All the Fuss Over Mr. Wilson? Go get that book. I promise you, it's a children's book about Christmas. Great animations in it. Listen, I promise you, you don't want to miss that. Go get that for yourself, for your children, for your church, children at youth at your church. Listen, it's a great read, a great opportunity for you to really find the real meaning of Christmas. And I also wrote a song to go along with that. You can stream that song, Meaning of Christmas by Dr. Ricky McCrae. So thank you so much for joining. All week, we're going to be talking about hidden expectations. So thank you for joining us. Listen, if you got that relationship, there's some things you're frustrated, some things you're upset about that you have not communicated. This is your chance. Don't give up yet, because some things are worth fighting for. God bless you.